And we're live. All right, folks. If you received this recording now, it's because we had a very, very unexpected failure from our webinar streaming provider. But luckily, we were able to scramble together now and actually do the recording as we had originally planned. So that's all well and good. And now we can continue as planned and have a good deep dive into the world of Shoppertainment. And with me in the studio today, we have none other than Benjamin Henriksen from Let's Go Live. Where are you joining us from, Benjamin?
This time I'm joining you from Finland.
You're always somewhere remote in a distant corner of the world, but that just means you've been busy, haven't you?
Exactly. We have a hard time or a busy time making live shopping successful in not only Denmark, but also the rest of the Nordics, Europe, and so on. So, of course, this time, last time I was attending a webinar with Spree. It was in Norway, I think, Jens. Now this time it's in Finland, and let's see the next time where it will be.
Maybe Zimbabwe? Who knows?
Yeah, I would like that. No. I would definitely like
that. No, but that's wonderful news. And exactly as you mentioned, what we'll dive into today in this webinar is exactly what goes into some of these productions and why, you know, the word Shoppertainment is important to us, and we'll share with the audience. But as always, I'm your webinar host, Jens Wynn from Spree, and I'll just lay out briefly the agenda for this program, and then we can get into it. So firstly, what we'll get into is just a more high-level definition of what is Shoppertainment. What do we mean when we say that? Because it's not necessarily a term that people are super familiar with. So we're going to kind of contextualize that. And then we're going to dive into a client that's currently doing Shoppertainment in what we would classify as a really, really strong performance in this medium. And you may already be familiar with them. They're Ecooking. And we'll dig into that. And then lastly, Benjamin, you'll kind of walk us through what it looks like putting a production like this together from the ground up. So that sounds good. I think we can just dive in, can't we?
I'm ready.
Awesome, awesome. Then let me share my screen. All right, great. So this webinar is focused on Ecooking's live shopping formula and how it fits into Shoppertainment. Now, we want to first talk about what we define as Shoppertainment, because it's very obviously a mixture of two things, shopping and entertainment, but that's perhaps not a very adequate way to describe what we're talking about. So I've actually dug into sort of what you can classify as Shoppertainment as it's known in the current year 2024, and how we're seeing this medium actually forming now. And some of the parameters that I've seen repeatedly is that, one, it's typically in a live streaming format. So whether that's on TV or online, it's usually connected to a live stream where there's a direct communication between the sender, which would be a company or any network, and then viewers who are tuning in live, so they can have that instant connectivity and instant feedback. The next part is then that it usually involves some form of interactivity. That's where the entertaining part comes in, and what we've seen as examples here would be polls, quizzes, game shows, and prizes. You want to involve the audience in more than a passive experience. And thirdly, is that a word, thirdly? It's personalization. So it's about knowing your audience and what is it that would keep them entertaining. And I think, Benjamin, this changes from industry to industry, depending on what you're selling. You're not going to have the same audience, so you kind of need to tailor it to them. So this is just sort of the textbook definition that I've come across that I think is a good way to start. But I also want to put it to you, Benjamin, seeing as you are very much so an expert in Shoppertainment and have produced many lives that involve these elements. What would be your definition of shoppertainment?
Yeah, well, first of all, that's a big question, and I think that there's a lot of answers to that question. But at least seeing it from my perspective, I think that Shoppertainment is a way of bringing joy and, of course, entertainment into e-commerce or just traditional commerce in general. So that's first step, and then second step, and that's at least as important. That is, of course, when you have the consumers' attention, you also need to keep it. So first thing, you need to get the attention, and then secondly, you need to keep the consumers' attention. And of course, here it's it's a need to engage with your consumers, and if they are constantly sitting with their phones and typing on the keyboard, playing an active role in our program, maybe they try to solve games, puzzles, they are about to win a quiz, and so on, then they are more willing to stay at our live and not just to get back to scrolling and so on. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my perspective on Shoppertainment, I would say.
And I think that's very, very accurate in terms of how we're seeing this bid for consumer attention. It's all about getting eyeballs on whatever you're doing, whether you're a company that's selling products or if you're in an entertainment network. You really want to grab as many viewers as you can and really keep them grabbed by whatever you're offering. So that's really key to what we're talking about today. And we want to focus this conversation a lot around the Ecooking, as we mentioned earlier, who have really incorporated this into their own strategy. So I want to just dive into an example that we can show the viewers here, where we see Ecooking going live and actually implementing a lot of these elements that we talk about, that we're talking about, to increase the kind of the retention rate of their viewership, and getting them more and more involved. So I'm just going to share that with the audience now, and we can kind of take a look, because I'm actually going to go into the Facebook Live itself, because now they've gone live, and it's recorded, and anyone can access it now. And as you can see here, I'll just make sure that it's mute. We have the team at Ecooking, the presenters, actually in their warehouse. Isn't that right, Benjamin? Where they're kind of going through all the product catalog and bringing the viewership into their kind of like the behind the scenes of what their production looks like. So that all of what you're seeing on the screen now, this is actually Let's Go Live, your team, Benjamin, that's helping to produce this. Is that not so?
That's totally right. And in front of the camera, we have Niklas and Chris, the two hosts. Niklas has been a face on Ecooking's live for some time. Chris is more new, but together they're quite good, and they are bringing a lot of fun and energy and entertainment into this program. But maybe you have some examples on just this. Jens?
I was going to say that too. You can really feel. Yeah, absolutely. But what you even just mentioned there, like the chemistry between the hosts is vital as well when we're talking shoppertainment. Wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
Because it really brings the personality of the brand to life. So you feel that you're connected to the company. And maybe you can explain what we're seeing here as well, Benjamin.
Yeah, so what we are seeing is a new element that we brought into Ecooking's live. So this is a quiz. We use actually this quiz also as an educational element. So the questions that we have in this quiz is about the Ecooking brand. So it's both about the brand and the history of the brand, but it's also about the products. So this is just a nice, we have a prize. I think this is a body care set that you can win. But instead of just writing, participate or some, stupid comment in the comment section, we would actually like people to be engaged, and we would like them to learn something about our brand. So of course we could do that in a quiz, and this is not a long quiz and so on. This is just a small segment of the live where we have a question. There comes a couple of other questions during the live, but yeah, a quiz where you can win a prize, and then people get educated at the same time.
Exactly, and that plays to some of the elements we mentioned earlier, of like prizes, interactivity, and personalization, because you personalize it to your audience. The people tuning in, they know a little bit about your brand, and it's rewarding them if they partake in these shoppertainment elements, because then they have a chance of winning things. Now, I also want to spotlight what we're seeing on the screen now.
Actually, I just want to, before I do that, you saw in the clip that you showed before, there was Ecooking had their black bags, which is just a bag of products, and then they put in a note saying that you have won a Mercedes for 2 weeks, I think. So this is not for everybody. So it's just randomly in some of the black bags that they put this this little paper saying that you have won. So it's just a nice way of getting people to maybe do an impulse purchase by putting this in. But this example you're showing now is a format that we call pressprisen. In English, it could be lower the price. So what we do here is that the viewers, they have the power to make the price even lower than it already is. And they do that by writing a trigger word in the comment section. This is a mask you can get a nice price on, and you just need to write mask in the comment section. And the more people that write mask, the lower the price will get. So you see this little bar under the product sign saying, okay, now the price is below 300, and it will get lower and lower and lower the more time people write maske or mask it is. So this is just a nice way of doing shopping, but also keeping the viewers attached, you could say, to the comment section and typing this word, so that they also stay for longer, because they're also waiting for the nice price to be there.
Exactly. I think I just saw the bar moving, so it definitely works. And you see the people responding in real time to make and it makes it also a bit of a shared experience that everyone's working together in order to bring the price as low as possible, right? So those are a lot of different elements in play. But I think so that was really good to just visualize what we're talking about here, Benjamin, to kind of help the viewer understand what we mean when we say Shoppertainment, because it covers a wide range of things that you can bring into play. But those are some of the things that we have actually seen you guys help clients sort of implement in their lives to kind of heighten that level of interactivity with the viewer. But I wanted to actually also add or share rather the thoughts behind starting this project at Ecooking, because we had the pleasure of having Martin Vel Jespersen, who's the head of e-commerce and digital media at Ecooking, join us for an interview where he actually kind of unfolded why it was that Ecooking had embraced this strategy and what were the thoughts behind them going live and bringing in Shoppertainment to really captivate their viewers. So I wanted to just quickly segue to that now to give him the word. So I'll play that now. Today by Martin. All right, we're joined in the studio today by Martin Vel Jespersen, who is the head of e-com and digital media at Ecooking. He's had a big hand in facilitating the live shows that Ecooking does, and they're known for doing a few interesting things that really keeps audiences hooked in. Now, I'd love to take it over to Martin now to ask you a few questions about some of the considerations that you've made for your live shows. All right, Martin, in your recent Black Month themed live show, Ecooking brought some fun and interactive elements to the viewing experience, such as thematic quizzes and lower the price segments. Why did you decide to implement these elements in your lives?
First of all, thanks for having me, but it's actually a really good question. I think the reason behind adding some more entertainment elements to our live shopping events was, in fact, to add some fun to the format, actually. Because for Ecooking, November should be a month of engagement and fun, and we sort of needed to kickstart November with a little bit more entertainment that we did last year. So, but to my perspective, when talking about the entertainment parts of live shopping, which to us is just one out of several elements, actually. To my perspective, we are actually competing a little bit against streaming services like Netflix, etc., when trying to have people's attention at 7:30 in the evening. So, to my perspective, the competition, the attention element, the attention game live shopping in terms of entertainment is actually something we needed to try to learn if it worked for us really well, actually. Yeah.
All right, I really like that perspective. So I think most people may not necessarily be aware that you're competing with more than just other retailers, but also, like you said, Netflix and all these other entertaining aspects. So that's a really good perspective to bring, and clearly a big consideration you've had. Now, I wanted it kind of segues into the next question I have for you, which is, how did your viewers then respond to these interactive elements? Did it have any impact on your own performance metrics, such as engagement, sales, or customer loyalty?
So the viewers actually responded very positively to all of our interactive elements. And actually, we broke all records when it came to engagement metrics, which again reflected on sales also. But impacting engagement metrics is actually just one thing you need to do right. You also need to have a significant amount of people watching the live show. So actually, it's more or less the same principles that apply in live shopping that applies in general e-commerce. But I guess that's why it's called social commerce.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And a really great way for people to join in on a shared experience is what we've noticed a lot. All right, then I want to ask you also, what, if you have any plans, do you mean to bring in more entertaining elements in your future live shows? And for you, this balance between being fun and entertaining, and then also having the commercial in mind, what does that balance look like to you? So you can kind of answer that in two parts.
Yeah, it's a really good question, actually. In terms of whether or not we are going to plan more entertainment for future lives, it's definitely something we are going to do. But for us, it needs to fit the perfect purpose and theme of the live shopping event we are hosting. So at some live shopping events, we are more focused on education than entertainment. So the answer to your question would be, to us, it depends a little bit of the goal of the live shopping event. Sometimes it's sales, other times it can be education. But when it comes to sale, we have learned that entertainment works really well together with that. So other times for us, it makes sense to turn the entertainment part a little bit down to fit the theme. And I don't think there exists a one-size-fits-all balance here. I think it's something you need to test and find the right balance. But I would definitely argue that you start with putting the goal of the event first, and then find out the right balance for the live shopping event.
All right. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I want to thank you so much, Martin, for answering these questions we had for you and giving Ecooking's perspective today.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Nice.
And that was what Martin had to say on the topic, and I think that was some really great insights. But Benjamin, I want to hear your thoughts on some of the things he said.
Yeah, I agree with Martin in most of his things. Yeah, almost everything. Martin and I are also working together, as you mentioned in the beginning. We are planning this together. But what I really like is some of the things that he said in the end. So first of all, you need to set a goal or find a purpose for your life, and then you can find out what kind of entertainment it should be. Because the only place where I'm not sure that I disagree with Martin, but the only place where I would put another perspective on is that I don't think that there shouldn't be a difference between entertainment and education. For instance, entertainment is a broad word, and I'm not sure that we all know what it is, but it's called shoppertainment, infotainment, and so on. But it's all entertainment, right? So what is important here, of course, is that it's authentic, it's familiar, it's playful, and that you can engage with it as a viewer. So I just want to elaborate maybe a little bit on that, because as Martin also mentions, and that's what I really like, people are watching Netflix, they are, together with their children, they are, making food and so on. There is a lot of things that can get people's attention. So it is a fight to get or to grab the consumers' attention, and that is not easy. So it's a huge battle between many things, also your competitors. But a thing where I can get, or a way of getting the consumers or grabbing the consumers' attention is maybe to stand out. And for maybe a year ago or 1.5 years ago, a way to stand out was to do live shopping. But nowadays it is not enough in itself, because almost everyone are going live by now. So a way to spice up your lives, or to make your life stand out, is to make them personal, authentic, entertaining, you could say. So yeah, and that's just my way of saying that many of the things that Martin said, they are totally right, because the real fight that we are in is to get the consumers' attention, and then we can do stuff, sell them things or educate them and so on. First step is to stand out and to grab their attention.
I think you teed it up perfectly there, because what I wanted to ask you is, you've been involved in the production side of these live to take them to that next level, where it's actually bringing in people who just want to be a part of an experience. It's not just a passive viewing experience, they're becoming a part of it. So I think it could be very interesting for the viewers out there watching who want to understand more of the practical implementation that goes into actually producing lives like this, because that's not something that's obvious. We see the finished product when we tune in to Ecooking's lives or any other bigger live goer, when we see all the elements that we're talking about today. But what actually goes into making that happen? I think you can shed some light on that. So I think what we can do now is you've shared the process with me, and I think we can go ahead and show the viewers what that looks like. We can have a look at it.
Yeah. So this, what you see on the screen now, is where Let's Go Live can help you. There is a bit more steps when you usually go live, but 90% we can help you. But what I just want to say is actually to repeat some of Martin's words, because what he said is that first of all, we need to find our goal for life. What is the purpose? And that's mostly every time it's something about the theme. But let's focus on the live that Ecooking did, that we also saw some examples from. It was their Black November live. So what we wanted was to get a lot of people to watch. We wanted them to stay for as long as possible, because then we knew that we could sell them as many products as possible. This was the goal for this live. So we knew that, of course, there need to be some great offers. That's on the product side. So we take care of that, or at least Ecooking does. And then we need people to be there for a long time, because we just, they when clicking into a live, people mostly have some products that they think, okay, I would like this product at least. But if you're able to make them stay for even longer, then we can influence them on buying even more. So you saw the quiz. This was one of the elements. By educating people, by letting them hear what we are saying, because they know they are going to answer a question about the facts that we said, and then they can win a prize. They will stay for longer. We had the lower the price segment. Of course, they need to play an active role, as you mentioned, Jens. They need to type this word to make the price go even lower. But they will also wait for the price of the product to get even lower. So this is a good way of making people stay on our life for even longer. So this is just to say, of course, we need to find out what we're going to do, and when we have done that, we need to promote our event, and that is by saying what people can expect. So if they can expect funny games, great offers, and so on, we need to make sure that this is a part of our marketing material. And then when we are about to promote our event, of course, we also need to create this event, so to speak. So we need to create a program, and find some products is of course an important thing when doing a live shopping. So we need to find our product, and then we need to find some activities, you could say, that match our goal for the live. So again, let's focus on the Black Week live. This was all about selling. So of course we had lowered the price segment, But we had a lot of people, and we also want to educate them. So then we had the quiz. We also had other funny stuff. So it's just to say that we need people to sign up, and then we need people to stay for as long as possible at this live. So this is all about marketing, and it's about the program. And then of course the hosts, they need to understand this. And then moving on to when we on the day of the live, you could say we need to stage the location as nice as possible. You saw the Ecooking live was from their warehouse, because there we had a lot of products, and it was not that nice, so to say. It was not a nice studio with a nice background and so on. Of course, the lighting and the focus on the product was great, but our surroundings, they matched our goal for the live, which was to sell a lot of products. In a warehouse, there is a lot of products. And then we need to produce it. And when producing these live shopping shows, you can easily do it with an iPhone, and you can also do that in great quality if you get some lighting and a microphone and so on. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't go live on your own with an iPhone. I'm just saying that our options, they are bigger if we do it in a setup like ours. So Jens, I also have some pictures from some live shopping shows where Let's Go Live have been producing it. So as you can see on those pictures, there is there is a cameraman. Maybe there is a few different angles. In a Ecooking live, it could be that you could see in an overview camera, you could see the hosts, but we also had a close-up camera that would show, first of all, focus on the products, but also the effect of the product. So if you have a cream and so on, maybe you approach it to your skin and so on, then you can see the effect, you could say, of the product. So this can look like it's a big deal, and it can also be, but it's just to give us as many options and possibilities as possible. And all those options and possibilities, it's mainly through some of the camera angles, but most importantly, it's also through our graphical overlays. So they can of course be used for guidance regarding the shopping elements. We have these product signs with the price, with a picture of the product, with the name, but also the shopping code. But other than that, you saw we had the quiz, we had lower the price. Some other places we have games and puzzles and so on that make people. It's kind of a call to action. So it's something that the viewers, they can react on through the comment section. That's what we are trying to do with the graphical layer, beside putting some guidelines. Yeah, and now I think that I will stop talking for now. But my main point is that of course you can do it with an iPhone. That can also be good quality. There is also some options, but if you get an agency, a live shopping agency like ours, where we also produce the things that we plan in the planning part of our process, then we are sure that it will be a success, and we are sure that we can live up to the things that we have promised in our marketing efforts as well. So that's why I think that you should work together with an agency like ours.
That's well said, Benjamin. And I think there's so much value to be had from that. Because like you said, it's not to say that live shopping, Shoppertainment is limited to these overproduced, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
Because it's not. You can do it on your own with just a phone, but I think it speaks to what both you and Martin spoke about, that it's kind of like a bid for consumer attention. So the ones that can go the extra mile, stand out, they're the ones who are going to get viewers on that live, because it is becoming an increasingly crowded market, because the value of live shopping has proven itself. So more and more companies are doing it. And in order to still be attractive to customers, you need to put in that extra effort or to see the result from it. So I think that's a very good point. Now, normally we would have had a Q&A here, but obviously we're no longer live due to the aforementioned technical difficulties. So I think we can just wrap up the webinar with the usual outro here. So I'll just share that with the audience.
Yeah, and while you find that, maybe Jens, I can just say that my last notes would be that, shoppertainment and entertainment and all those things. You can also call it gamification. That is not something you should be afraid of. And I hear many people saying, "Oh, isn't it just for young consumers and so on? And isn't this too unserious and so on?" But I just want to say that it's all of the way. The things that are important. The thing that are important is how we package it. You could say how we frame it. So this can be relevant for all brands. You saw the Ecooking quiz and so on. It was in their visual identity. The questions was about their products, their brand, and so on. So it was not, it was serious, right? So this can fit into every brand. I would say we just need to find the right way. And as Martin also mentioned, that will be my last point. There isn't any formula on how to do it. You need to look at your own brand. You need to find your purpose, and then of course you can look at what other people does. But first thing, you need to find your own purpose and own goals for your lives, and then everything is possible.
Yeah, for sure.
That
And
was it.
that's summarizing as well what we've talked about, that there are different things that you need to take into consideration when you want to elevate the entertainment aspect of your life, because we're seeing that pays off in the long run. It's what builds that customer loyalty, and your brand will be remembered through this.
Sure.
So I think that was a very crucial insight into what we're talking about today. So do you have any other remarks, Benjamin, that you want to add?
Now I'm done. You can do your end show now.
We've come to the finish line, so then we can just quickly here, I'll share our next webinar that we have planned. It will be kind of a summation of everything prominent trends and changes that we've seen throughout the year of 2024 that has influenced the live shopping industry. Like, what are the major things that you need to take into consideration going into 2025? So our next webinar is the state of live shopping in 2025, and we're joined by a stellar cast of experts who are weighing in from not just different points of view in terms of industry, but also geographic markets. So that'll be a very interesting webinar to keep an eye on. But also definitely for the viewers out there who want to get involved with what you've unpacked for us today, Benjamin, maybe you can tell them how to connect with you.
Yeah, of course. And you can go to our website, letsgolive.dk. It's also in English when you go to the website, and you can also contact me directly in this email. And then I just want to say that, we are truly a full circle live shopping agency. You need to know that the only thing that we do is live shopping. That also means that we try to, of course, improve the format as an ongoing thing. We also try to make it even better because it's already great. But we are not just following trends. We are actually trying to create them based on the behavior that we see from our many, many viewers. So that's just why you should contact us. And you can go to our website and look for other things. You can actually go to letsgolive.dk/inspiration. Then I have gathered a lot of live shows that I have, or my colleague Victoria has. She had made them quite short. So you can see them in a few minutes, and then you get the point out of the live shopping shows and all the elements. So yeah, now I'll stop. Contact us and make some great live shows.
Well said. And I think the proof is in the pudding. So go and have a look at their cases, because there's some wild stuff that you've been able to pull off. But yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, Benjamin. And I'm sure this won't be the last time that you join in on one of these webinars. But I think I want to thank you for your time, and I want to thank the viewers for tuning in and having a curious ear about what we've got cooking in the live shopping space. So it's always wonderful. Thanks.